Welcome to The Shoreline, brought to you by Shores and Islands, Ohio, where finding your Lake Erie love is a sure thing. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Jill Bauer, PR Manager for Shores and Islands, Ohio, and we bring you The Shoreline every week to give you the inside scoop on what's happening here in our island and coastal communities. Joining me today as co-host is Shores and Islands, Ohio's Group Accounts Manager, Emma Melter. Emma is responsible for group sales and services for associations and specialized groups, including reunions and religious groups. She also deals with senior and student groups as well as motor coach tours. Emma also gets to represent Shores and Islands at a number of group travel trade shows, including the upcoming Heartland Travel Showcase. So welcome to the program, Emma.
Hello.
Hi, I'm so happy that you're joining me today. You have a lot on your plate. As I mentioned, all of the different groups that you get to work with and interact with, one of those groups being motor coach tours. And I believe that is the focus of the upcoming Heartland Travel Showcase. So can you share a little bit about what that is and what we have planned to help promote our destination to group travel planners?
Yeah, absolutely. So Heartland Travel Showcase is actually put on by the Ohio Travel Association, and it is a planner focused specifically on group tours. So myself and along with Joe, who is our partner accounts manager, will go and we represent Shores and Islands and all the best it has to welcome groups in, whether it's senior groups coming in, if they're doing an overnight, staying a couple days, putting an itinerary together. We really just try to talk up our area and our different partners in our region that make groups great here. We are very lucky this year. It is being held in Toledo. And with that being so close, after the show itself, we are doing a post-FAM or familiarization tour for 15 planners, I believe, representing 6 or 7 different organizations. And so then they will have met with them and then they come back here and kind of get to see it in person. We got a lot of our different partners incorporated, so stopping and touring museums, having meals, and we really try to focus on showing them what they can do with their groups when they come here.
That is very cool. I love, I do this similar with media, hosting people to the area and showing them what all we have to offer. And those FAM tours are always a lot of fun. And that's fantastic that they're going to, visit the conference, obviously, while they're in Toledo. They'll get to meet with a lot of destinations, but then they get just a little bit more out of Shores and Islands, Ohio by getting to actually come here and see it in person. What are some of the itinerary points? What are some of the places that you guys are going to be going while they're here?
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing breakfast and a tour at Liberty Aviation. I'm really excited to eat in the Tin Goose Diner because It's not every day you can go eat dinner in an actual 50s style diner. We're also doing an Island Fest lunch that obviously March is not the absolute best time to go do a ton of things on Put-in Bay. So we're inviting some of our partners from the island to kind of come in and celebrate what they have and be a good connection point for the operators. We're also exploring out to Erie County with the Chef's Garden and the Merry-Go-Round Museum and just a bunch of different partners, really kind of trying to make the most of the time while they're here.
Oh, that's so fun. Well, good luck with that. That's coming up in March. Is that right?
Yep.
Well, that's going to be a lot of fun. And I know you also get to travel away from the region to a lot of different trade shows and meet with different kinds of tour operators and meeting planners and things like that to, try to encourage them to travel to our region. What's your favorite part of that, of going to trade shows and promoting group travel?
I just really like going and meeting both the other planners and also other destinations. Especially, I think the islands are kind of the most hidden part of what we offer here. To hear islands in Ohio, that doesn't sound right to most people. So
people are always surprised, right?
Yeah, to educate them, yes, we do have islands. Yes, you can go to them. Yes, there's things to do there. But then also some of our other kind of more hidden gems on the mainland, and really showing that for our meeting shows, especially, yes, we have some great meeting spaces at places like Kalahari and Sawmill Creek, but we also have a ton of great options for evening entertainment, adding on a day before or after. And since we have a lot of planners kind of coming in from the outside, encouraging them when they book their trips to encourage their attendees to, stay the day after, come a day before, bring a family, and make it truly part of their vacation as well.
Yeah, because we have so much to experience, right?
Exactly.
So, folks, if you're planning a reunion, a wedding, or any type of group function, or if you're in a group that holds conventions, meetings, or any other kind of event, be sure to check out the groups portion of our website at shoresandislands.com. Just go to the tabs at the top of the page. There's tabs for meetings, groups, sports, and weddings, and you can contact our group sales team for assistance. I'm sure that Emma will be happy to share her tour ideas with you and all of our available services. So we've nearly made it to the end of February. It's the last week of the shortest month of the year. But man, it really did fly by fast, in my opinion. March is just around the corner, and we're finally anticipating some warmer weather, and spring break is on the horizon for those of you that have kids in school. Spring break is a great time for families to visit the Shores and Islands, Ohio region. Be sure to request your all-new 2025 Play and Stay Guide to start planning for that, and also for the upcoming summer season and fall and winter and beyond. The Play and Stay Guide is full of inspiration and information. You can request or download your travel guide right on the website. Again, shoresandislands.com. And as always, be sure to follow us wherever you consume social media, as we're sharing some great content there. We've got photos, videos, event information, and more. Let's get to the topic of today's show. Today on the Shoreline, we're learning about a cafe located in downtown Elmore that has an amazing mission, Christie's Corner Cafe. So another reason I wanted Emma to join is because she's from Elmore, and she's actually a pretty regular patron at Christie's. She's been there a couple of times. So before we bring on our special guest, Emma, what is your experience with Christie's? Like, I know you've told me you've even gone there to work before.
Yeah, they have a super welcoming environment there. Before Christie's was Christie's, it was a different coffee shop. And so when it closed, it was kind of sad to see what was a community gathering spot for a lot of people. You had, your groups, your kind of smaller senior groups or whatnot gathering there, but then also families, high school kids, people getting together to do homework. So it was really great to see Christie's kind of come back. And as you've already alluded to, they have a really great mission. So when you're there, everyone's super friendly, and they've incorporated their mission into kind of every part of their store.
Well, I'm glad that you have experience going there, because I have unfortunately not been there. I do know where it's located. I was actually driving through Elmore not too long ago, and I was so excited to spot it on the corner there. And I was like, oh, that's Christie's. I've always wanted to go there. Unfortunately, I was on a time crunch and was not able to stop. So again, another reason I wanted to make sure Emma was on the program today, because she's been there and has a little bit more experience with it. So some background on Christie's Corner Cafe. It was named in memory of Christine Christie Bosch, who was born with Down syndrome. Despite her disability, she was able to live life to the fullest thanks to the support and encouragement of others. Christie's family began Engaging Opportunities Foundation in Christie's honor to support and provide employment opportunities for those with disabilities. Christie's Corner Cafe is the first of these opportunities, and they invite you to stop in, grab a bite, and meet their amazing team. You're guaranteed to leave with a smile on your face. Joining us today on the Shoreline is Kathy Barbie, co-founder of the 501c3 nonprofit and principal officer. Kathy got quite a story. She's the third of 9 children. Her sister, whom the cafe is named after, was child number 8. She lives with her husband, Dan, on a small farm in Woodville Township, and they have been married 32 years and have 3 adult children. Kathy and Dan are both nurses. I love how everybody always has, some other career and then they, pivot. Kathy now works on the education side of nursing, primarily annual competency training for ICU nurses. Unfortunately, Kathy's sister passed away in 2011, but the Engaging Opportunities Foundation was started in her memory in 2018, and the cafe opened in 2019. And it sounds like it's a real family affair. As Kathy tells us, her parents are regularly spotted there as well, helping out. Even though they're in their 80s, they're regularly there, and everybody that visits, seems to know them. So I can't wait to hear more about your story. Welcome to the Shoreline, Kathy.
Thank you.
So Kathy, tell us a little bit more about Engaging Opportunities Foundation. Sort of what does it do? What's its main mission?
Our main mission is providing opportunities for individuals with special needs. Looking at Christy always wanted to work. She wanted to be involved in everything. And we're more alike than different. We focus here on abilities, not disabilities. And so the community has been very receptive to us. We're very grateful. We're in the perfect place. But basically, we strive to help our employees reach their goals and their greatest potential. And we are looking for long-term employment. They're phenomenal employees. Once they learn their tasks, they do well. We're pretty structured here. And then everyone has their own job coach. So when our employees come in, I'm a nurse by trade, like a care plan in nursing. We have a job coach plan here so that we're moving them in the direction of what their ultimate goal is. We also ask them, what are you going to do with the money the money that you make? Have them start thinking about long-term financial, because that's our inclusion is a big piece, but our long-term goal is they're fully capable of having a full-time job with benefits and vacation. So we are, for the most part, here to teach them and work with them in skills so they can be successful in transitioning out.
So you mentioned your current employees having job coaches. Because I've been in there and I've seen your gift shop wall of goodies. Do you want to share a little bit more about how you continue to incorporate kind of your mission, not only with your staff, but also who you bring in?
One of the things you mentioned, our retail area. We do have a retail area, and everything in our retail area has a connection to someone with disabilities. We have a special Sparkle. That's a young lady that makes jewelry. We have the Jam Man. He's a young man with Down syndrome that his family's originally from Ohio, and they are moved to Texas. Matthew's from just over the border in Michigan. He has a barbecue sauce.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have a lot of different pieces to the puzzle, right? I assume some of your staff is fully employed and being paid. Are there some volunteer opportunities as well?
There's a ton of volunteer opportunities.
I figured.
We had a lot of volunteers that left with COVID, and we haven't seen back.
Of course. Well, I want to know just kind of in general, because it sounds like you have a lot going on, but on top of all of this, you're running a cafe. So if somebody comes and visits the cafe, what are you serving there? I mean, I've heard coffee and I've heard catering, so I assume you make meals, lunch and things like that as well. What's your menu like, and what can people experience when they visit?
We have coffee, lattes, cold brew, pretty typical things from a coffee shop. I don't drink coffee or tea, which one of our employees slips espresso in my frozen hot chocolate every now and then, which I realized right away that's got espresso in it and everything. That's so funny, but she's bound determined I'm going to like coffee. And I love the smell of it. I love to grind it, but
I'm the same. It's okay.
Yeah, it smells so good. But yeah, hot lattes, cold brews, smoothies, milkshakes. In the morning, we have cinnamon rolls.
The cinnamon rolls. Those are my favorite.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty. In fact, when I walked in, I could smell them. I was like, oh, so good. But yeah, we have different pastries and lunches. We close at 2. We used to close at 4. We've kind of adjusted our times based on sales for the most part. And kind of, we also want to be respectful of what other people in town are doing. So like when we did our menu, we've got 2 people in town that may have a really good taco salad. So we don't do taco salad because we go across the street or down the street to have a taco salad. So, but one of our biggest sellers is chicken salad, and it's usually served with side. We have our regular, like coleslaw. We usually try to make an extra salad. And then for people that don't like salads, there's chips and Dave's pickles on the side. And then we have several salads too. We have a Southwest salad, which is pretty popular, and I think that's pretty typical that you would find somewhere else, like find at Applebee's, or it's got like corn and beans and salsa. It's like a salsa ranch dressing, corn chips, tomatoes, that kind of thing. But we have a feta walnut I think is really good. It's like a spring mix. It's got walnuts, feta, and tomatoes and cucumbers with like a raspberry vinaigrette, and that's pretty popular too.
It all sounds amazing. Do you have a favorite? Do you have any favorite items on the menu?
Probably the chicken salad is my... Okay. we make it here. We cook chicken breasts and we make it ourselves, and I think it's really good and probably one of our biggest sellers.
Well, and also you think about, I'm hearing, you've got people cooking, you've got people preparing foods, you've got baristas, you've got customer service. You've got, learning how to deal with money and, sales transactions. And then it sounds, from what Emma said, you also have your gift shop. So, there's really so many opportunities just within your business to learn different skills and to master different skills. And I love hearing that for a lot of these folks, it's learning and mastering those skills so that they can then go apply it, somewhere else into another career and, hopefully long-term opportunities for those folks.
You're absolutely right. And two, sometimes they come in and they're like, this is their goal.
What is your favorite part of being involved in, in such a meaningful project?
I tell you, we have such phenomenal and dedicated employees. In fact, Karen, she's one of our leads, and she said, Emily came into work the other day. She walks in and she says, I love you, and she gives you a hug at the beginning of her shift and at the end of her shift. And Karen looks at me and she said, now where else are you going to go? This is how you're greeted every day. I'm so grateful for the community. I'm grateful for our customers. We've pretty much I think, gotten a name for, if we can help you, we will. And we try to do that in any possible way.
So it sounds like you're really doing a lot, for the community and, through your nonprofit. How can people support your mission other than obviously we know they can come and eat in the cafe or grab a coffee? Are there other ways to, volunteer your time or, just monetarily support your mission?
Yes, you can always volunteer, come as a customer. We do have on our website and social media pages, there is a link to donate. As a nonprofit, there is tax deductible. I think of my sister. Christy had a very joyful life because people gave her opportunity. And I guess that's really the bottom line. There were so many people along the way that could have said no, and they said yes. We strive to be the yes for our employees, and we appreciate any help any support that people want to share with us to be the yes for people and help them have a joyful life like Christy. Christy, I don't know if you noticed in that flyer, there's a picture of Christy with the basketball uniform on. Christy was like 4'8" maybe. And she was kind of short and stocky, and she carried oxygen around her last couple of years. But she loves sports, and she was very much a self-advocate. She went to Cardinal Church High School is where all of us kids went, except for Christy. And she went to the coach's house and said, I want to play on your team. I'm thinking, he could have said no for so many reasons. He could have said, you're a girl, it's a boys team. You don't go to our school. You're like 26 years old. You're carrying oxygen. You're 4'8". He could have said no. And he said, well, let's see what we can do. And then he went and talked to my parents, and they went to the athletic director and said, Christy wants to be a part of the team. He could have said no. And he said, well, I think we can do that. And then had a conversation with her. She was manager for the boys basketball team at Cardinal Church High School for 9 years. Again, like so many people along the way could have said no, and they said yes and yes and yes and yes.
That is great. And we love yeses, mainly because I will come talk to different group partners and be like, hey, so if we can figure out how to get this bus of 50 people to maybe come into a museum that really is more of like a 20 to 25 person. So kind of finding those yeses, I think in all different areas is great. If they want to read more about Christy or kind of sign up or just find more information, where are the best places for them to look?
So we have a website, christyscornercafe.com. You can read about our mission, read about some of our employees, our menus on there, some of our retail areas on there. And then there's also our story about Christy.
So Kathy, also, if people want to visit, can you tell us what your current cafe hours are? When can people come?
Yes, we are open Thursday, Friday, and Monday from 7 to 8 to 2 p. And then weekends, Saturday and Sunday, we are open 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
So one more time, what is the best website for people to, find out about volunteer opportunities and donating and just the information on the cafe?
Okay, so if you go to www.christyscornercafe.com, and then we also have social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Oh, of course. Everybody can find everything on social media.
I know, right?
And I think that I heard from Emma that the hot tip is to get the cinnamon roll, right?
cinnamon roll. And if you're there more for lunch, I am a big fan of the ham and Havarti because they put like a little jam or jelly or something on there and it just makes it that much better.
Well, that sounds perfect. Kathy, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. And people hopefully will go to your website and get more information. And when you're in the area, if you're looking for a tasty beverage or a great meal and want to support Christy's mission, stop by Christy's Corner Cafe in Elmore. Special thanks to Kathy Barbie of Christy's Corner Cafe and the Engaging Opportunities Foundation for joining us today. And Emma, thank you, of course, for joining me as well.
Thanks, Jill, for letting me tag along.
Of course. And thank you to all of our listeners for following along. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a minute of the action here in Shores and Islands, Ohio. You can also find more information, including past episodes, online at shoresandislands.com. And we will see you next time on The Shoreline.